everyone, my outfit doesn't match, I don't care, I'm so fucking tired, I'm a tired ass bitch. Welcome back, excuse me, to True Crime and Wine. Clink clink, cheers cheers. I said I was no longer filming at night, and here I am filming at night because I'm a mess. But before I get into what we're talking about this week, or who we're talking about this week, I just want to say, before I tell this story, I want every single guy that I have ever touched, dated, spent time with, had sexual relations with, to apologize to me for ever calling me a crazy bitch, because what we're gonna talk about today is an actual crazy bitch. I'm gonna just go ahead and give you about 5 seconds to maybe assume who we're talking about. Go ahead. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. We're talking about Jodi Arias. That bitch is fucking crazy, okay? I mean, have I called somebody on private when my number was blocked? Yep. Have I ever downloaded the Text Me Now app when my number got blocked? Fucking absolutely. Have I ever showed up to somebody's house, slashed some tires, sent death threats, sent emails, thought about murdering motherfuckers who didn't love me back? No. So I need every single guy who ever told me that I was crazy to take it back right now. Because this bitch right here, she a nut job. Jodi Arias was known as a beautiful, popular, friendly, charismatic, intelligent woman. Her victim was Travis Victor Alexander. He was known as very popular, successful, motivational, devoted, hustler, and also he had kind of a dark side, but really at the end of the day, maybe everyone has a dark side. He definitely did not deserve to get murdered. Travis had a tough childhood. His mother was a drug addict. Honestly, I think both of his parents were drug addicts. At the age of 10, him and his sister went to go live with their grandmother, and their grandmother was a Mormon, and it's a religion. It's a religious practice that people practice. And they believe heavily in chastity, which is when you wait till marriage to have sexual relations with anyone. And I even think this is all the way down to kissing. So when he moved in with her, she taught him about the religion and the beliefs. He was devoted to the Mormon lifestyle. He went to a Mormon church. He started working for their sales company, PPL. He got to the top of his sales team. He was really good at motivational speaking, so he would go to conventions, give little speeches to get people motivated to join the sales team. He also would like to motivate people to join the Mormon lifestyle. However, in his lifestyle and his religion and his beliefs, you cannot have sex. He had a very sexual side to himself. He was highly sexual. He loved to have sex. He loved women. He loved porn. He definitely broke the rules when it came to not having sex, not having sexual relations. On the outside, he was very successful. He had a nice house with a couple of roommates. He had a nice car, a BMW. Anyone that would look at him would be just like, wow, he came from absolutely nothing, and look at him now. Hence why he's so great at motivational speaking. Truly though, he was a playboy. He loved women, he loved to date women, and he loved to have sex with women. Now in 2006, Jodi was living in Southern California with her former boyfriend. They have been living together for 4 years at this time. She was not doing well financially, she was stressed out, so her and a friend decided to go to Vegas to go to this convention for PPL, which is a company that Travis worked for. At these conventions, his company always had a banquet. So one of his friends had an extra ticket and set Travis up on a blind date with Jodi. That's how they met. They go to this banquet the entire time. They're really vibing with each other. It was instant chemistry, especially sexual chemistry. He's looking at her like, wow, she's blonde, she's beautiful, she's got a nice body, and I could probably get what I want from her, which is sex. So they immediately hit it off. Fireworks are going off, sparks are going off between them. Her is wet, his is hard, you know the drill. Ever since Jodi was basically a child, since the age of 18, her family recalls that she always had a boyfriend. She was always in relationships. She was never technically single. As soon as one relationship ended, she would jump into another. Now she flies to Vegas, she goes to this convention, and after one night with this guy, she's like, I'm in love with Travis. I don't want to be with anyone else. I don't want to try with anyone else. This is the man of my dreams. This is the guy that I've literally dreamt about my entire life and my entire existence. I am done looking. So she actually flies back to California because her and Travis don't live in the same state. At this point, she's in Southern California, he's in Arizona. Mind you, it's about an 8-hour drive, maybe 5 to 8 depending on traffic, but that's still long distance. So she goes back to California where she's currently living with a boyfriend she's been with for 4 years. She breaks it off with him and tells him, I'm saving myself for the man of my dreams and the guy I'm going to marry. Like a Looney Tune. Like, how do you know that after meeting him for one night? I mean, I've definitely looked at guys before and been like, damn, like, I really, like, think you and me this might be it. We might be making it to forever. But it definitely took me 4 or 5 dates or 4 or 5 hangouts or whatever to come to that conclusion. First night, butterflies, I know I want to talk to you still. Second night, okay, they're intensifying. Third night, okay, yeah, I'm really getting to the point where, you know, I might want to be with you. I don't think I want to be with anyone else. Fourth night, I'm probably definitely I'm definitely in there. So I'm not gonna really hate on her for that, but the fact that you would fly all the way home, break up with your boyfriend, move out for some guy where you don't even know where it could go or how it could go is just irrational to me. But this bitch is crazy. Like, crazy. The most irrational, crazy bitch on the planet. At least the most irrational, crazy bitch on the planet who got caught. Because I'm sure there's a ton of Jodis walking around this planet terrorizing guys that don't want to be with them anymore. And I get motherfuckers calling me crazy because I just try to make it work. Travis's biggest issue with Jodi was the fact that she was not Mormon. So after 2 months of dating this guy, she decides that she's gonna convert. He's her sponsor. She gets baptized in his church. It's this big ordeal. And now he's more inclined to be like, okay, I'm more comfortable bringing you around my friends because you are Mormon. But the #1 rule in the Mormon church is that you cannot have sexual relations. So as soon as she got baptized, they would go to his house. They would do freaky things. They would have sex. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of sex. So they were breaking the rules. Now, if I'm a woman, right, and I know a guy is doing things that he's not supposed to be doing with me, I would believe that that would push me further away from me being the type of woman he's gonna want to marry and pushing me closer to the woman that he's using for one thing and one thing only. But she's crazy and she didn't see that bigger picture. She probably thought sex was going to keep him or save their relationship or trap him or fool him into falling in love. I don't know. In the summer of 2007, Jodi discovered text messages on Travis's phone from another woman. They got into this huge fight because at this point they've been dating for a little bit of time now, and clearly he's been dating other people. So they get into this huge blowout fight. He's realizing, okay, she needs to pump the brakes. This relationship needs to go on hold. I can't do this. You're getting a little too crazy for me. I'm doing me. I thought we were having fun. Let's not do this. So they break up in the summer of 2007. Immediately after they break up, Travis is off and dating other people. Meanwhile, Jodi is losing her fucking mind. Literally. Instead of moving on or taking the proper steps to move on from someone who clearly does not want to be with you, she does the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do. She packs her bags and she moves from Southern California to Arizona to be as close as possible to him so she can watch his every move, basically. She said it was because she converted to be a Mormon and there's more Mormons in Arizona than there are in Southern California. That's really why she moved. No, but she moved because you're crazy. Pretty simple. She texted him, she let him know, hey, I'm moving out there. He was really upset about it. He told all his friends he was upset about it, but he also couldn't cut the cord with her. He just couldn't cut ties. So even though he did not want to be with her anymore, they continued a sexual relationship, which got even more intensified when she moved out there. And this is the #1 mistake with people that don't want to be with other people. Having sex or being around people that you know have already intensely wanted to be with you or loved you or were falling for you is only going to confuse them, and confusion makes people angry. So he was being very selfish in the fact that he knew this woman was all about him, even moved to where he lived for him despite whatever bullshit she was telling everybody else, and he continued to sleep with her and take what he wanted from her when he wanted it. So that's up. It's actually kind of like a form of abuse. It's like dragging someone along for this crazy ride when you have no intentions of getting off at the same spot with them. It's fucked up. In July of 2007, when they officially split, Travis was seeing somebody else. He had a different girlfriend, and during this time, his tires got slashed twice. She broke into his apartment, would sleep on his couch, take pictures, leave it on his mirror while he was sleeping, really creepy, disturbing stuff. And he would tell his friends that he had a stalker, but he would never say who the stalker was, although all of them didn't really get good vibes from her and assumed that he was indeed talking about Jodi. But he never went to the cops. He never filed a complaint, which is probably his biggest mistake. If I ever walked into my apartment and some motherfucker that I broke up with was sleeping on my couch, I would run to my car, drive all the way to the police station, and make sure they stayed as far away from me as possible. In fact, I would move, I'd break my lease, and I would want her to know nothing about me. Jodi eventually leaves Arizona and goes back to California to live with her grandparents. Clearly, money's not working out. The relationship with Travis isn't working out. Time to pack your shit, bitch. Go back home. So she goes back. Now let's go ahead and we'll just fast forward to the tragedy. On June 9th, 2008, Mimi Hall was someone that Travis was interested in. They went on a couple dates. It didn't work out. He said that let's just be friends. But he originally planned a trip to Cancun for him and Jodi. They broke things off, so he invited Mimi. She's like, well, I'm just your friend. He's like, yeah, we can go as friends, even though he probably wanted to pursue more. She's packing for this trip, and she's calling him, and she's texting him, and she's getting no response. So she's getting a little freaked out, like, why haven't I heard from this dude? Like, I haven't heard from this dude at all. So she decides she's just gonna pop up to his crib. So she goes to his house, she's knocking on the door, no answer. She's ringing the doorbell, no answer. So then she calls one of her other friends. They come over, they're trying to knock on the door, still no response. So they call another friend who knows the code to get into his house. So the third friend comes over, he uses the code, they go into the garage, they go through the laundry room, and when they're walking through the laundry room, they smell this disgusting odor. And at first they thought, okay, maybe it's his dog, maybe his dog took a poop, he needs a bath, I don't know. So they're smelling this odor. Anytime I tell true crime stories, I get really cold. And so they head up to Travis's bedroom. The bedroom door is locked. So they're banging on his bedroom door, they're screaming his name, there's no response. They go down the hallway and they knock on his roommate's door. His roommate's name is Zach Billings. Zach opens the door, he's like, what's up? They're like, where's Travis? And he's like, I don't know, I thought he was in Cancun. And they're like, no, he's not supposed to leave till tomorrow. And he's like, oh, I don't know. So he frantically goes to get a spare key. They open up his bedroom door, and as soon as they open it up, they see blood on the floor. So his roommate Zach goes into the bedroom, he's looking around, he has a hallway going towards his bathroom, so he's walking down this hallway towards the bathroom. He goes into the bathroom, there is blood everywhere, and he sees Travis dead in his shower, and he's screaming to the other people, call 911, call 911, Travis is dead, call 911. So they call 911 in a panic. I'm gonna insert the 911 call. I just want to state that the 911 call was a little weird to me because none of his friends who just obviously witnessed a crime scene and a very, very brutal murder were crying on the 911 call. I feel like if I went into my roommate's room or one of my friends' room and found out that they were murdered or witnessed that they were murdered, I'd be in shambles. But I guess each his own on how they grieve or handle situations like that. I know it's not important and none of them had anything to do with it at all. I just think it was a little weird. None of them were crying. Like, very weird.
His bedroom, we hadn't heard from him for a while. We think he's dead. His roommate just went in there and said there's lots of blood. I didn't go in, but I can give you the phone to someone who went in there.
Yes, please, can you?
Hello.
Hi, so what's going on?
He's dead. He's in his bedroom.
Okay.
In the shower.
Okay. How did this happen? Do you have any idea?
No, we have no idea. Everyone's been wondering about him for a few days.
She said that there was blood. So is it coming from his head? Did he cut his wrist?
It's all over the place.
Is there any weapons around?
No, I don't know. Not that I saw.
How many people are in the house?
How many are in the house right now? Just the 5 of us? 5 of us.
Okay, I need all of you outside.
Okay.
Hold on just a moment. Okay, you're a good friend of Travis's, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has he been depressed at all? Thinking about committing suicide, anything like that?
I don't think he's been thinking he committed suicide. He's been really depressed because he broke up with this girl, and he was all upset about that. But I don't think he would actually kill himself over that.
Has he been threatened by anyone recently?
Yes, he has. Okay. He has an ex-girlfriend that's been bothering him and following him and slashing tires and things like that.
And do you know the ex-girlfriend's name?
Do you remember it? Zach. What's his ex-girlfriend's name? Ask Taylor.
And do you know if he's ever reported it to the police?
Her name is Jodi. I don't know if he's ever reported. Hold on. Zach, ask Taylor if he's ever reported Jodi to the police, like if Travis did. No, he hasn't reported anything about Jodi's behavior.
Okay, and you guys left the roommate. When was the last time he saw Travis? Was it 3 days ago?
Zach, when was the last time you guys saw Zach? Travis. They want to know about from the roommate.
Last time I saw him was, last Thursday or Friday?
The last time I remember seeing him was last Thursday. Okay. When was that time? Mimi saw him last Tuesday, or last Monday. She talked to him last Monday.
Okay. And everyone is out of the house. There's no one else in the house.
No, no one's in the house.
Okay.
I don't know, because none of us know what's going on.
And what is your name?
My name is Michelle. I need to ask a friend something. Here, I'm giving the phone to me.
Okay.
Taylor.
Hi.
Hi.
She's Trent's business partner.
Okay. And this is, okay, the tub is in his bedroom?
Yeah, and I guess I didn't go in, but from what I heard, his roommate went in. There's blood in his bedroom behind the door, and then he said it's all over. And then they went in the bathroom, and he's in his shower.
Okay.
So
and his bedroom is where in the house?
It's upstairs, and as you go up the stairs, it's on the left. It's the first door on your left. It's the only door on your left.
Okay.
And it's just a big master suite bedroom up there. And she's talking to his friend right now. There's a girl that's been stalking him and things, and he's trying to. You might know some information. I hope my phone doesn't die. I'm on like 1 bar of battery. So.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to keep you on the phone until officers arrive. Either officers or paramedics arrive. Okay.
Okay, I think I can hear the sirens now.
At this time, Travis had 2 roommates, Zach Billings and Enrique Cortez. Both of them had not seen Travis in over a week. Zach thought that he was in Cancun, so he didn't really think much of it. And I'm not quite sure what Enrique thought, but he hadn't seen Travis either. Detectives show up to the scene. The body is stuffed in the shower. The fingers were starting to turn a different color. The toes were starting to turn a different color. He was decomposing because he had been laying there for quite a bit of time. So they couldn't tell by looking at him what exactly happened to him. There was blood splattered everywhere, on the bathroom sink, on the mirrors, on the floor, just blood everywhere. The bed sheets had been taken off the bed. Travis was put in the shower and washed off as if someone was trying to clean him or clean the blood off. Because of that, investigators believe that it was someone that Travis knew that killed him, because why would a random intruder or murderer care about cleaning blood off of a dead body? They would just dip. There was no signs of forced entry, nothing like that. So detectives knew that it had to be someone that knew him. And the first suspects were his roommates, because in their mind, they're like, yo, how could you not smell or think twice about the smell in your house? It was a decomposing body. Now, I've smelled roadkill before, and roadkill is like the worst thing imaginable. So I can't imagine what a decomposing body smells like. But if it's anything like roadkill, I can't even stomach it. Like, it's awful. So they were just a little bit suspect on the fact that how could you, as his two roommates, for days not be aware or alarmed by the smell of a decomposing body. However, they eventually get ruled out. Now, as they're searching the home, they go to the laundry room, and in the laundry room, they discover in the washer machine a new camera. It was Travis's new camera. Whoever put the camera in the washing machine intended for it to be destroyed. However, the memory card on the camera was not destroyed. So obviously, police investigators bring this to their digital lab team, and they pray that they can salvage whatever they can and try to figure out what happened the days leading up to the murder, the day of the murder, whatever. Now, when they start the investigation, they came to the conclusion that Travis was killed 5 days before his body was found. Now, he was found on June 9th, 2008, so they determined that the day of his death was June 4th, 2008. Jodi reached out to police first. She left them a message and said, "Hi, I was very close friends with Travis. I would really like to help with this investigation. I heard what happened. If you need anything from me, if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask. I would love to help in any way possible." So they reach out to her, they ask her a bunch of questions. She tells them that she used to have a romantic relationship with Travis, but she broke it off with him, which was a lie because he actually broke things off with her because he started to realize this is crazy. When his friends began to get investigated by police officers, they told police in interviews when they asked, "Who do you think did this?" All of them said Jodi. Jodi did it. Jodi was stalking him. Jodi was crazy. We never got good vibes from Jodi. All of his friends pointed a finger at Jodi. She told investigators that she hadn't seen Travis since April. And during the time of Travis's murder, she was on a road trip. She said that she went to go see friends in Pasadena and then headed to a PPL convention and then went to go see another lover that she had interest in, and his name was Ryan Burns, who lived in Salt Lake City, Utah. She told investigators that she got to Ryan's in Salt Lake City on June 5th of 2008, which would make it quite impossible at first glance for her to be the one that committed this heinous crime. So they interview this Ryan Burns guy, and he does confirm that Jodi did come to see him in Salt Lake City, Utah. So that checked out. She wasn't lying about that. However, he did say that when she arrived at his house, she dyed her hair brunette instead of blonde. I don't know why. Maybe his new girlfriend had brown hair and she was just like, "I'm gonna have brown hair too." They never really disclosed that in anything that I read or any research that I was searching, but she dyed her hair brunette, and she also had cuts on her hands. And investigators were like, this lying ass. Jodi goes in for questioning. She's in the interrogation room. She is denying. "I have nothing to do with this. I would never hurt him. I was nowhere near that place. I have nothing to do with it. I would never. During this interrogation, there was footage during this documentary that I was watching on her where she was doing handstands in the interrogation room. She was singing a song, "Oh Holy Night," a Christmas song. Like, why the f are you singing a Christmas song? It was really very bizarre, weird behavior.
Soon after the investigator walks out the door, Jodi walks to the wall and does a headstand. Actually, it's a yoga pose.
Should have at least done your makeup, Jodi. Gosh.
I didn't hear you breathe. I wonder how am I still here? And I don't wanna lose a thing. It might change my memory. Oh, holy night. The stars are brightly shining. This is the day of our dear Savior's birth.
Luckily for investigators, they were able to recover footage off the memory card. The memory card had footage of both Travis and Jodi's naked pictures, nude photos, and also a picture of the murder while it's happening. It was Travis's bloody body, her leg, where she was wearing jeans, and her foot. Not only that, on the crime scene, they had Jodi's palm print on the scene, they had her hair on the scene, and now they had this photo of her committing the murder. They have enough to arrest her for murder, but detectives are really trying to get a confession out of her. They just want a confession. She's not giving them one. She's like, nope, nope. Nope, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Nope, not me, not me, not me. I didn't do it. But they arrest her anyway. They arrest her for first-degree murder. When the detective is telling her, like, you're about to be booked, you're about to get booked and put in a jail cell, she starts crying. She goes, I know I'm, like, super shallow. This is gonna make me look really shallow, but can, like, maybe I possibly clean up before I get booked. She was worried about her makeup and how she was gonna look when she got booked for jail. That's not normal, rational behavior, you guys. I don't even know what to call that. Like, I don't know if that's like a mental disorder or just like she's just a straight Looney Tune. But you're literally being told you're getting arrested for first-degree murder. You're about to get booked to go to jail. And the only thing you can think of is, I want to put some makeup on. Can I clean up? What? What?
Now?
It's public record.
So does everyone know?
If somebody goes on and checks public record, they can check it. And they would come up with an indictment against you for murder.
But it's going to be on the news tonight.
We don't report anything to the news.
Has his family called today?
No. They don't even know that I'm talking to you.
But they've been calling every day.
Every day.
Are you going to tell
I
them?
talk to them every day. How would you feel if your little brother or little sister was killed?
I've been wanting to call every day too, but I didn't want to look obsessive. So I just tried to limit it to once a week. This is a really trivial question, and it's going to reveal how shallow I am. But before they book me, can I clean myself up a little bit?
Later on down the road, when she's waiting trial, she does interviews in her jail cell, like in the jail, in the county jail, and they got videos of her fixing her makeup before she got interviewed for whatever news outlet she was interviewing for, and it's very bizarre, weird behavior. Yeah, let me powder my nose before I try to tell you I didn't butcher my ex-boyfriend, because that's what's most important here. Her childhood seemed pretty great. Everyone said that she was a bright, young, happy girl. Her and her parents got into tiffs for tats when she got to high school, probably when she started having sex. They caught her growing marijuana, so they started searching her room to see what else she was hiding, and once they started searching her room, she stopped talking to them, stopped confiding in them. She didn't trust them. She eventually moved out to move in with some guy that she was dating, and ever since that very moment, her and her parents didn't really have a close relationship at all. When her dad is questioned, he says that she showed up to their house and he sat him and the mom down and said, hey guys, I'm gonna have to leave. I have to get out of town. And they're like, what are you talking about? She's like, I'm gonna get blamed for something I didn't do. And they're like, well, what are you gonna get blamed for? And she refused to tell them. But she kept saying, I need to get out of here, I need to get out of here, I need to get out of here. I didn't do it, I need to get out, I'm gonna get blamed, I gotta go. And they had no idea what she was talking about. Now they're sitting up in the interrogation room and it's like, damn, like our daughter literally straight up murdered someone and she was probably gonna go to Mexico.
Strange person, because after she left the house, she just kind of got a little strange. She's really friendly. Sometimes she'll call and real sweet, and 10 minutes later she'll come and call in a rage, and just screaming at my wife. She did that for, over the last year and a half. I've never seen a picture of Travis. She showed my other kids, but she's never showed us anything.
I know you probably want some details, but her ex-boyfriend Travis Alexander was killed in June 4th. And it was during the time when Jodi was traveling from here to Salt Lake City. And we did track her route, and we believe she did go to Mesa. We have a lot of evidence in the house that points towards her as being the person who committed the murder. The only thing I don't have is why she committed it.
LA to the convention, and she was going to go right up to Utah. He says, and then after this happened, I just kind of got an inclination. I go, wow, man, I don't think so, because she was just acting so normal. And then when she heard about the news, I think it was either Friday or Saturday after he was killed. I don't know, was he killed on Thursday or something?
He was found on a Monday, Monday the 9th,
Okay.
like late at night.
Okay, because I know it was that weekend. She bawled her eyes out. She was already back, and you know everything was nice. She came over to the house once, you know, nothing big, no big deal. And then she went home, and then that day I called her and she couldn't even talk. And I go, what's going on? She goes, Travis was murdered. And
What did you think?
I didn't think much. I just thought, what the hell? Well, you know, I want to know what she did. And all she could tell me is, you know, later on she kept telling me she was going to leave the area. I go, why? She goes, because why? And then she came over one day. I was on dialysis, just got on dialysis, sat down with my wife, and we talked to her for 3 hours while I was on it, trying to get a question. She said, I can't tell you what's going on, but all I know is I got to leave. And I go, why? She goes, because I might be blamed for something. I go, what? And he goes, I can't tell you. She goes, I just won't tell you. And she refused to, never told us. Even this morning when I picked her up at the house to go to the Hertz, I said, okay, your final chance. I says, he says, you're no. She said she was going to be back in 3 days, she told us. At least she told me that. And I said, are you going to tell me or what? I said, I want to know. And she goes, can't tell you. She says, I don't want you to get involved in anything, so I'm not telling you nothing. And I just go, oh well. And then I thought, and then she told me that she quit her job yesterday because police had called. And then I said, well, what are you running away for if you're not guilty? She goes, because I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be part of anything or something like that. And I go,
where was she going? Did she tell you
I
where?
have no idea. She just told me she's leaving, and she goes, she'll see us some other time, but it's going to be a while. But then today she told me she was going to be back in 3 days because she left a lot of her stuff at her grandma's house.
Well, I talked to her for over an hour and a half, and I left with more questions than I had answers for. You know, I still don't know why. She just refuses to tell me why.
She won't talk to us either.
Yeah, she won't talk to me. And I've been talking to her since the day after Travis was found. I talked to her on the phone, and she called me 3 times that week. It was a couple times the following week. Every week she calls me. And I just sense that there's something there. And from day one, even before we found our first piece of evidence linking her to it, I knew there was something there.
Well, you know, first time, she doesn't trust us because we're parents. And when she was in 8th grade, she got busted for growing marijuana with our Tupperware, putting it on top of the roof. We found it and they called the sheriff department. And then they busted her, and then, I don't know, some of her friends or something. And then we searched her room. That was the first time we've ever searched her room. And after that, she was kind of like something turned in her head that we were nosy parents, and we were gonna search everything she had. So she hid everything from us and always has since then.
Wow.
She's never been honest with us since then. And she was probably 14 then, because she has never been honest with us ever since then. And then when she had the house in Palm Desert, we told her we wanted to come visit her, and she goes, where are you going to stay? She didn't want to stay in her house because she was afraid we were going to snoop through her stuff. And I go, hey,
that is kind of strange.
That's just the way she's been. And then when she was in Palm Desert after that, man, that's when everything, I don't know what, it's been a couple of years then. I said she's been a little crazy for a year. It's been longer than that. Now I think about it, when she moved to Palm Desert, because, you know, she started using her credit card to make her $3,000 a month payments because she lost her job or something. And then she got just financially in debt.
That's not good. She hasn't been
In my mind, if you butchered your ex-boyfriend and his body wasn't even found for 5 days, she had plenty of time to get the fuck out of Dodge. She could have been in Mexico within those 5 days. So everything was just really bizarre. It's almost like she kind of wanted to get caught. I don't know, it was really weird. It's very weird, very strange behavior. Investigators interrogate her again, and after 2 days she finally changes her story. But her story that she tells is so fabricated and so ridiculous, I don't even really want to tell it, but she tells cops that she was at Travis's house and that 2 intruders broke into his home, attacked him, were brutally attacking him. Like, all these details that she was saying didn't make sense. It didn't add up. They let her go. They took out her car registration and told her, we know where you live now. If you ever tell anybody about this, we're gonna kill your mom, your dad, your whole family, and you. Then she told them that the intruders just let her go. So she ran out of the apartment building, got into her car, and drove all the way to Salt Lake City, Utah, where she met up with this dude, Ryan. First of all, the cops were like, well, why wouldn't you leave, knock on a neighbor's door, call the cops, anything? She's like, I was so scared that they would find me because they told me I couldn't speak about it. And the cops are like, your story's a crock of bullshit. We don't believe you. Like, straight up, we don't believe you. This isn't gonna help you. It's actually making you look worse. I don't know what you're doing, but it's not working for you. So they end up booking her for first-degree murder because the bitch is clearly lying and they don't want to waste any more time having her run around in circles with this fake-ass fabricated intruder story.
You need to make this believable because it is not believable to me right now. You need to give me something. They say they're details.
They didn't say a lot. They were white Americans from what I could tell. They had, what do you call those things? They're like beanies, but they cover your whole face. And you've got like holes for your nose and your mouth and your eyes. And one was black. I think they were both black or maybe dark blue or something.
When she takes her mug shots, she's actually smiling. It's like she's posing for a photo shoot. I'm like, sis, like, you about to go to jail for life. You should not be smiling in your mug shot. It's everything about this like really gives me the creeps. Like, I almost just wish I knew what she was thinking. Why would you be smiling in a mug shot and doing handstands in the interrogation room and singing Christmas songs? Why? You just murdered the guy you were so obsessed with. You brutally murdered him. This is a guy that you thought you couldn't live without. You hated that he didn't love you back. You hated him so much that you killed him for not loving you back. And you have no sense of remorse or sadness or any sense of reality that you are literally about to go to jail for murdering him. What? Juan Martinez was the prosecutor on this case, and he believed that this murder, her murdering Travis, was premeditated, planned from beginning to end, and he wanted to seek the death penalty. Her lawyer was Kirk Normey. He basically sat her down and was like, hey, listen, your story about intruders just isn't adding up. So you either need to start talking to me, telling me the truth. I need something because the story you're giving me is not, it doesn't make sense. It won't work for you in a court of law. I can't even argue this. So she changes her story again, and she says that she was in a very abusive relationship with Travis. They got into a fight. It wasn't the first time that he hit her or attacked her, and it all started because she dropped his new camera. She claimed that he would abuse her not only emotionally and physically, but also sexually, and she also claimed that he was a pedophile and liked children and child pornography and really creepy things. I mean, pedophiles in general is probably like the worst thing you could ever call someone, if in fact it's not true, but he's dead and there's no way of proving if he was or not, but that's the story that she went with, and that's the story her defense team was going with. During her trial, she could not look at the crime scene photos. She could not look at what she actually did to the man she quote-unquote loved. She just had her head down the entire time. Her story was that she shot him first because she was scared, didn't know that she shot him, and he kept attacking her, and so she grabbed a knife and stabbed him, although she doesn't remember stabbing him. The medical examiner said that the shot was right above his eyebrow, and the type of shot it was would have killed him instantly. Therefore, there wouldn't be multiple stab wounds because she wouldn't have needed to stab him because he would have been dead. Keep in mind, Travis was stabbed 27 times all over. He had a gunshot wound above his eyebrow, and she slit his throat from ear to ear, almost to the point of decapitation. She really this dude up with anger and malice and really scary shit. When they were originally on the scene of the crime, they found a .25 caliber casing on Travis's floor. So they knew that the gun that was used to shoot him in the head was a .25 caliber pistol. During trial, it was brought to the courtroom's attention that on May 28th, Jodi's grandparents' house had been robbed and the cops were called. And among the things that were stolen from their house was a .25 caliber pistol that was never recovered. That was the gun she used to kill him, and then she clearly got rid of it. When she left Salt Lake City, Utah, to go back to California, she called Travis's phone several times, left him several voicemails, even though she knew she already killed him, because she wanted to look like she wasn't with them and that she was checking on him and concerned about him, and she didn't want to look guilty. Jodi's ex-boyfriend, who she was with for 4 years, they dated from 2002 to 2006, his name was Daryl Brewer, took the stand at her trial. He did not want to be photographed or filmed, so you never see his face in any of the documentaries or pictures, but he testified on her behalf and said that she was very lovely and caring when they were together, responsible. He had a son. She was very loving and compassionate with his son. He basically made her look like a human being to the courtroom, because at this point everyone thinks she's the worst person ever, and showed the courtroom that at some point she was a caring, loving, devoted person, and something changed and turned her into a monster. Or maybe she was always a monster. This dude just didn't bring it out in her. I don't know. I do not know. But he also testified in court that she stopped by his house a few days before her road trip to pick up gas cans. The prosecution said, well, why would she need to pick up gas cans? And they came to the conclusion that she picked up gas cans because she filled them so she wouldn't have to stop for gas at all while she was in Arizona. She didn't want to be seen on a gas station camera. She didn't want to be seen grabbing snacks. She just wanted to go in, kill him, and leave, which was proof that the murder was premeditated. She went to Arizona with the intention and the purpose of killing him. Jodi takes the stand. Everyone's like waiting for her to take the stand. They're like, oh my God, what is she gonna say? What is she gonna tell us? She takes the stand and the defense goes first. They ask her questions. They show text messages and emails between her and Travis, and you could tell that the relationship was very toxic, unhealthy, a lot of mental abuse going on. He would call her a whore, a slut, ask her if she liked to get fucked like she's being raped, call her an animal, call her a three-hole wonder, like lots of terrible things. You could tell the way he treated her probably made her feel less than, probably ruined her self-esteem if she even had any to begin with. It's hard. I mean, I've been in relationships where the guys are they won't hit me, but they'll mentally abuse me, and it's draining, and you're in denial, and you're like, I love him, I'll do anything to make him happy, and they know that they can say anything and do anything to you, and you're not gonna fucking go anywhere. So you could tell the defense is trying to paint Travis in the light that no one ever saw him in. Basically, they wanted to show the courtroom his secret life and his secret personality and how he really was, especially with Jodi. She also took the stand and said that she walked in on him once masturbating to child pornography, and that he was indeed a pedophile. They play an audio recording of them having phone sex, and after Jodi hits her climax, he says, oh, you sounded like a 12-year-old girl reaching her orgasm. I'm not saying he was a pedophile, but it's a very creepy thing for a guy to say. I would never talk to him again. I'd be like, you're a fucking weirdo. Why would that even come out your mouth? So there could be some truth to what she is saying. Maybe he did do weird shit. Maybe he had some, because of his religion and because of his curiosities and not really exploring them his entire childhood, maybe that made him weird sexually, and maybe he was a pedophile. We'll never know. But he did say a weird comment about her sounding like a 12-year-old when she orgasmed, or a 12-year-old that just had her first orgasm. Like, what, my dude? Like, what? So the defense asked her about the murders, and she said she remembers shooting him in self-defense, but everything else was a fog, and she cannot remember stabbing him. She doesn't remember doing the things that she did. She suppressed her memories because of post-traumatic stress disorder. The prosecution comes in, and he's confrontational, he's combative, but she's going tit for tat for him. Anything he says, she has an answer. Anything he tries to bring up, she tries to shut it down. The prosecution re-shows the crime scene photos in Travis's body, and she refuses. She's breaking down, she's crying, she doesn't want to look at them. And he's going at her, he's going at her, he's going at her. And at one point, she said that she had a broken finger from a time that Travis abused her. And she said that the abuse happened in January of that year. So he gets on the stand and he's asking her about the finger. He asked her to show the court her finger, which was bent. And he goes, so this happened when he abused you in January? And she said, yes. So he pulls up a picture of Jodi and her sister taken in April, which was obviously after January, and her finger is not bent. And he's like, you're full of shit. He never abused you. You didn't break your finger. You bent your finger on the day you killed him because he was probably fighting back and defending himself, and somehow, some way, you hurt your finger. So he used that against her, which was pretty damaging. Because again, she's caught in another lie. It's like pathological liar. Pathological. So they do closing arguments. Defense isn't denying that she killed him. She did. He argued that it should be no more than manslaughter. It shouldn't be first degree murder, let alone the death penalty. The prosecution comes up. He has this great closing speech. And at the end of it, he says, I want everyone to sit in this courtroom for 2 whole minutes in complete and utter silence. And everyone in the courtroom was silent for 2 minutes. That was to show that it took Jodi 2 minutes to kill Travis. And 2 minutes is a very long time. When you sit there in silence and you hear nothing but silence, and you realize, wow, 2 minutes really feels like a very long decade. That's how long it took for Jodi to kill him, and it's a very slow and painful death. On May 8th, 2013, after 15 hours of deliberation, Jodi was found guilty of first-degree murder. 12 jurors said, bitch, you guilty of first degree. Bitch, you guilty of first degree. And everyone outside the courtroom, because this is like a huge national case at this point, is cheering, praising, oh, thank you God, justice for Travis. And meanwhile, Jodi's in the courtroom looking shook, like she's so surprised that the jury convicted her. I really thought maybe she thought that her good looks and charm were going to get her off this case. I'm like, no, you butchered him, you psychopath. She's like the type of chick that probably looked at herself in the mirror before murdering him and was like, you're so pretty, like you're never gonna go to jail, you can get away with this because no one will ever believe you. She even did an interview at one point with a local news station before her trial and said, no jury will ever convict me of murder, mark my words, they will never convict me of murder. And here you are getting convicted of first-degree murder. How you like them apples? Within minutes of getting convicted or being found guilty of first-degree murder, she did an interview with Fox. And she said in the interview that she would like death because death is the ultimate freedom. So she's cool with it. Like, she hopes she gets it. And she's very calculated and she's very smart. And she did that because she wanted that to be the headline instead of the headlines in the news being, well, Jodi butchered her boyfriend and got first-degree murder. Instead, the headline was, Jodi would like to be put to death. So during her hearing, her sentencing hearing, she got up in front of everybody. She said that she made t-shirts. The t-shirts said Survivor on it, and it's for all people going through domestic violence, and that all proceeds would go to domestic violence charities or whatever. And everyone in the courtroom is like, is this dead ass? Like, is she dead serious right now? Probably not a good move, like very weird. And despite going on Fox News and asking to be put to death, she actually got in front of the courtroom and said, please, for my family, do not put me to death. Do not kill me. 8 jury members voted for the death penalty, while 4 of them voted for a life sentence. So the judge had to call a mistrial, which means that they had to redo the whole sentencing and the trial again. Ridiculous. On October 21st, 2014, her sentencing hearing began again. And again, the jurors could not get it together. 11 people voted for the death penalty and 1 person voted for the life sentence. So again, another mistrial. A couple months later, the judge, her name was Sherry Stevens, sentenced her to life in jail without parole instead of redoing another trial because this trial already cost taxpayers $3 million. She said, you're going to jail, life without parole. See you later. You're never getting out. And so there she stays. That crazy bitch is right now sitting in a jail cell. Probably, I don't know what the f she's doing in jail. I told Gabby today when I was like writing down my notes for this that I would love to go and just interview her and be like, woman to woman, like, what's going through that head of yours? Why are you this fucking crazy? I wonder if her family ever visits her, if anyone ever visits her, if she got friends in jail, if she's getting therapy. And even after I'm done telling this case and after reading all about it, I still have no conclusion on what happened to this girl. What triggered this girl to be such a psychopath? Is it mental illness, or is she just empty, or what's wrong with her? You guys comment below what you think, because I'm still like at this very moment so confused about this chick and what brought her to this point of such a brutal, disgusting murder. Like, why wouldn't you just pack your shit and move on with your fucking life, girl? Why? But I imagine if she did, she'd meet someone new and that person would do something to her and she would have killed somebody else. So I guess it was only a matter of time before this bitch snapped. Anyways, that's the true crime story of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was a very popular and requested person in my email, so hope you guys enjoyed it. Give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, but as I always say, if you're giving it a thumbs down, you probably shouldn't be on my channel. But if you are going to be here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, but also hit the bell, because if you don't hit the bell, you will not get notifications, and if you don't get notifications, what is the point? Follow me on Instagram, XXODanielle, Swallowed Podcast, the official Victor Twins, for me and Gabby's joint page. We also have a joint TikTok, the official Victor Twins. Follow my dog, Little Caesar the Frenchie, and follow me on TikTok, XXODanielle. Subscribe to my OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/XXODanielle. Love you guys to the moon and back. Whew, it's scary out here. You just never even know who you're getting in a relationship with, so I don't even have any advice because people be putting on a front and then planning your death. So just be careful out here on these streets, okay? Love you.